Hello, I will get you started with some regular expressions. In this course we're going to use a program called ZED. It's a streamline editor that we can use it for managing text files and search for stuff. The text file I'm going to use is the one from the guide. It's 4 rows, not so much, with some big letters, small letters, some numbers. I'm gonna show you some tips and tricks. ZED needs input, so here's one way to do it. I use cat on the info file and then I pipe all the output into ZED. We can use some flags on ZED. Especially one is -E. It stands for extended regex. With the help of this option, I don't have to escape a lot of the characters, because or else characters like curly brackets needs to be escaped like that, and if I have a space I need to escape the space, because if I don't escape it, it's gonna see it as the letter S. So this one marks a space, and in the end we're gonna have really lot of backslashes, and it's getting hard to read. So if we use extended regex, we don't need to escape curly brackets or parentheses or something, and that's good. So let's start small. Here you can use whichever delimiter you want. I don't know if it's a standard to use slash, but let's stick with that for the ease of it. I can search the file by name, and if I just run this, it's gonna say that I'm missing a command. Before the last tick I put a P. It stands for print. I want to print the result. And here I get all the rows, because ZED processes line by line. So it's gonna print all the lines except the one with there. The match gets printed twice. But I only want to print the matching line. So I add another option, --n. Now I only get the matching line. If I put in teacher here, I get all rows, because teacher is in in all the rows. That's a basic search. If I don't really know what I'm searching for, let's say I just know that the course starts with capital O twice, like that, and a capital P, but then I don't know anymore. We can use the brackets. It defines the character class, and inside it I can choose which characters I want to use. A to C in lowercase. It takes all the letters in the English alphabet, lowercase. If I type A to C in capital, I'm gonna take all the letters in capital. If I want all letters, both capital and lowercase, uppercase and lowercase, I define both in here. But I know it's lowercase letters. So this is going to give me the course, another row with the course OO Python, because the match is here. Double O and a P, we got that here, and then any lowercase, and it takes the Y. because if we look at the file, we get two. Here we got OOPHP. It starts with capital double O and a P, but then we have capital letters after. So if I want that instead, I can use again. So capital A to C, then I'm only gonna get the OOPHP one. If I want both, as I said before, we put in A to C in small letters. And now it matches this row and it matches this row. Okay. If we do some numbers, the numbers have a character class as well. 0 to 9, this is gonna match all rows, because all the ones have at least one with a number between 0 and 9. But you can see that only this row has 4. Then I type a 4 and I get only that row. It works the same as the characters. If I want everyone with a number between 3 and 5, I get the same one because it's the only one with a 4. If I want let's see what we should take next. You have some, if you look in the guide, you have some special, let's do like this. This is the guide. Of regex. And we look at matching. We can see here it's the same example as I just gave. And here we have the character classes. Lowercase a to c, capital case a to c, all letters. This one matches all lowercase a to g. The same with numbers, and if we don't have a dash inside, it's gonna take any of the letters that we define. It's a match. Okay. Let's go to special characters. I'm not gonna go through every one of these, but the most common are the caret sign, also called a caret. It matches the beginning of the string. So if you define that, let's see here, then it has to start with this. Let's say I type a capital A. Then it has to start with an A, and it's the only one. Let's see if we can get all the rows. None of everyone's different. It marks the beginning of each line. The same as there, the dollar sign. It marks the end of a line. So all the lines ends with a dot and a parenthesis, and then we have some numbers. Then we can get this row by entering 1 followed by parenthesis and a dot, something like that, because it works from the end. beginning and end of strings. The question mark, it matches 0 times or once, so it's true or false, you can see. And it works pretty well if we have perhaps A to G, and then after the character class a type of question mark. Then it has to contain a small letter A to G 1 time or 0 times, thanks to the question mark. And then I can continue with my expression. The plus character matches 1 or several times, so at least once. Same way, a plus sign, then at least once it has to be a small letter A to G. It can be 1000 times, but at least once. Then we have the star, that's 0 or several times. It's a bigger wildcard, you can say. The dot we have. It matches any character except the new line. So if I type like that, dot star, it can be any character except new line, because Z works with line by line structure. Then it's going to take everything. So it's a small letter followed by anything. So this is going to match everything. And it's not always good to use it, but dot star is everything. We have intervals. I can show you that. What do we have in the file? We have let's see if we can get the line with the 11. We have the number 1, and then I use the curly brackets, and the 1 has an interval of 2, so the 1 has to be repeated 2 times, or it's repeated 1 time, but the result is 2 ones. Yeah, this should be fine. Then it looks from here, can I find a 1? I find a 1 here, but it's only 1 time. And here I defined it's gonna happen twice. Then it goes here, and it finds 2 ones next to each other. So it's an interval. You can always define like that. Then it's 2 or 3 times. Here's 2, 3, 4, 5, or 7 times. Yeah, interval. If we put the caret sign inside the brackets, if we start the expression there, let's start the character class with the caret sign, then it's gonna match all the characters not there. It's the opposite of normal character class, or normal brackets. We have alternations to the character class of the numbers. Backslash small d is a digit, a number. Personally, I think this way is more usable. It's easier to read and see exactly what's happening, because here I can define explicit numbers. You have different character classes here that you can use. Z is quite hard, I believe. It's a strange way to think, but I hope you can see the benefits of having at least a bit of knowledge about regular expressions. in the lab you're gonna work with very, very big files with many rows, and it's fast. It's a fast tool, so perhaps when you start to work, you're gonna process text files with a couple of million rows, some major log files or something. Then you can write sed command that makes the processing. If you write a good sed command, you can process it in seconds, perhaps 20 seconds, if it's a million rows. If you write a bad sed command, it's gonna take a long time. So it is good to be good at regular expressions. I'm gonna show you one more thing. It's called substitution. We put an S in the beginning. That means I want to use substitution. And I want to change all Emil to Andreas. We got two parts. Oops, I couldn't do that. We got the pattern to search for. Then we have our slash, and then we have the pattern we're going to replace the first one with. So now we got that we found Emil in one row, and his name is Emil Folino, but we changed his name to Andreas. So we use substitution. One more thing, we can use groups. That's really good. We define a group by parentheses. So, let's see if I can explain this in a good way. If I want to take everything until I come to we can see if we can get all the courses. We're going to catch all the courses in a group. So we take everything, then we come to course. We have a space, and then we want to start our group, because we have course, space, and then a group. And to be explicit, they start with a capital letter, followed by small letters until we come to a space. I don't want the space, so I put it after the parentheses, but on the other hand I can just do dot star everything else. Now I have one group, it's the one I defined here. I can have several groups. If I have long rows, then I can continue picking out the groups. Then I can reuse the groups on the other hand of the slash, second part. The first group is in \1. If I had two groups, I wanted to reuse the second group, I use \2. But I want one group. So we take anything, then we come to the word course, then we got a space, and then I want my group. So if this is working okay, I'm gonna replace the output with the group 1. So instead of writing the whole line, I want to just write the course name. Let's see if it works. It does not work, and we can see why. It got the W, it got the E, but just one E, because I haven't explicit said I want several letters. So I use the plus sign. Then I have to have a break, because or else it's gonna take everything again. Perhaps it's gonna stop at when it comes to a space. Let's try. Yeah, it does. So now we got only the course. And that's pretty good. A G stands for global. It doesn't work here because I want to print it. You can see it when I show you the last tip later on. Web up is the last line because you see I only got one course. The reason is that it works line by line, and dot star takes everything until it comes to course. But this is the last course. So it's only gonna take the last line. Okay, it was the second to last. Why did it not continue? Perhaps if we define I want all the rows. I'm gonna substitute everything from the beginning of the line until it comes to course. I got a visitor. Let's see. I have to solve this, especially now that I'm on the video. Somewhere I missed something. The beginning of the line, I'm gonna find the word course, capital letter. Now I know. Now I know. Cat info. Because I defined just the first letter as capital and then followed by small letters. Of the course, it's only web up that's gonna match, because here we have capital letters, here we have a capital letter, and here we have a capital letter. So let's restructure. We got space, we got course, we got small letter or a capital letter. And now we got a match on all rows. You see, it can be tricky. You can create expressions in several ways. And this is just one way to do it. Is it the best way? I don't know. Perhaps it works. Yeah, we got matching, we got substitution, we got groups, we got character classes. And if we look here, we can go to a place called regex one-on-one. And this is a perfect tool for trying out regular expressions, because it's so much that happens. So I can't create this in explain everything in one video. I honestly don't know everything about regex, but we can, here we go. If we got the text, we copy that, we go to regex one-on-one, we paste our text file here, and then we can start working on our regular expression. We get direct feedback on the matching. We can create everything we did in the terminal. We can see here how it's matched. We can see that we got two flags, G and M. It's modifiers, global and multiline. You can read about everything you do directly. Everything is not gonna work exactly the same in GNU-Z that we're using in Debian as it does here, but the character classes and the substitutions and everything, you get good explanations. You also got a quick reference here on how to use it, but you can't make it work here and then you copy paste into the lab and expect it to be the same output. But you're gonna get a hunch. You got a lot of information about all the things that you can do. Now I got another visitor. Yeah. regex101.com. We use Z. Use the flag. Where'd it go? Dash capital E for extended regex, so you don't have to escape everything we do. It's gonna look hideous in the end if we had to escape. Use the guide. It's a very small guide, but I try to explain the most common character classes and such that you can use. That's about it. Regex 101 and the guide. And try. What's it called? Practice makes perfect. So practice. It's not a big deal if it goes wrong. Then you just press the arrow up and you do it again, until you get a hang of it. With those words, I wish you good luck, and be sure to use Gitter if you get stuck. Yeah, good luck and bye-bye.